Hello and welcome to another video from Sustenance and Cover, and on the channel you need to not only survive the current apocalypse but actually enjoy it. This is one of my permaculture crops here, and something I just found. I didn't purchase this. This is blueberries, or wild blueberries called huckleberries. If you notice, there's no berries on it because I ate them. That's right, they're done. In fact, they've been done for probably a month now. This is a little bit different one. In fact, the little tiny leaf ones are what they end up calling huckleberries. The ones with the bigger leaves are usually called wild blueberries. It's the same tree. They cross-pollinate. And both of these are early. And so we ate all those berries. But I'm going to show you a good reason to have native species. There's a bunch of them growing in here, but here's another one. And if you notice, the berries are green still. So even though I've been eating huckleberries for over a month, next month I'll be eating them too. And this huckleberry bush, I just located it recently and cleared to it. You know, whenever I find a native species that produces food, you know, the first thing I do is mark it. And the next thing I do, first chance I get, is get out and clear up to it so I can harvest it. Because if it's not clear, you can't harvest it. And this was all scraggly woods. You could not walk back here. I'm going to show you some more huckleberries. This one. This tree, just so you can see how big that is? This is the biggest huckleberry tree I've ever seen in my life. And I measured it, and it's right at 17 feet tall to the top of this branch. And I think that's the tallest branch. And it's loaded with huckleberries. This is not my huckleberries. These are bird huckleberries because I don't use a ladder to pick fruit. Anything that's outside of the reach of my hands goes to the wildlife. Now, if you can, you know, I highly recommend planting fruit. But one thing I do highly recommend is just keeping the fruit you already got. Now, if you have a lawn, then you're not going to have any native fruit just growing in your lawn. But you can purchase a lot of native fruits from people that just deal specifically with that. The only problem is that native species will live longer, produce more, do better, but they pretty much got to live a natural life. Now, this is a wild blueberry, and it's got a few blueberries on it, or huckleberries, however you want to call them. I hope you can see some of those. But anyways, it's they're very healthy, but they have to live the way they were meant to live, which means they have to start life in the shade. Huckleberries do not want even the least little bit of sunlight on them for the first couple of years. Now, once they get like that 20-footer over there, 17-footer, then they're all right. If you notice here, I've got a lot of light hitting this tree. This is the huckleberry. But it's hitting it from the top, and only when the sun is over it. When the sun is on the horizon, it's not getting much light because it's surrounded by trees. If you have a lawn, you may have to stick with the kind of stuff that grows in a lawn. Of course, once you get that established, then you can put some native species in. Here's another one, in fact, while I'm out here. These pawpaws, I've actually purchased pawpaws before and put them in my lawn, and it took them about 2 years to die. Well, they died the minute I put them in the lawn, but it took them 2 years to figure out they were dead. Anyways, native species. One good thing about native species, you know, is that people aren't worried about them because they're not a commercial crop. You can't make money off huckleberries. So people don't generally propagate them. The things they propagate, that's basically all they got going for them, is that they're commercially viable. Which means you get some of the crappiest fruit and the most worthless trees simply because they make the most fruit per square foot. That's a good thing if you're in a society based on money, but when you're in a society based on survival, you really want things that will produce for a longer time without any human intervention. A lot of trees that you purchase need water, need fertilizer, need to be in a lawn, and that just don't work for me, and it don't work for humanity in general. Don't want to survive, don't listen to me.